You are... Okay, chat. Guess what just happened? Somebody guess. Somebody guess what literally just happened. Somebody guess why my blood pressure just spiked. You don't really win anything for guessing it, but let's just take a wild guess. Anybody? Okay, no, the PC's doing just fine, Dweghom. Thankfully not a computer taco. I don't know what that would be, Kaylee, though it's wonderful to see you again. I didn't kick my router. No. Thank me indeed, Dr. Rhino. Not a paint spill, not a paint spill. It is something that has happened a number of times on this stream. Specifically, it's the timer ran down, and I reached over and I pushed the button that goes to the next overlay, and guess what happened? Nothing. I have reinstalled the plugins for my Stream Deck like 6 times now, and it's worked for multiple streams in a row, and then just stopped working. Not for any reason. The Stream Deck works. I use it for other functions on my PC. It's just when I open OBS sometimes it's like, we're just not going to work today. This is really like I've got to stop complaining about it. I've got to do something about it, and that something might be dropping the fucking Stream Deck and doing something else, because this is really starting to irritate me. OBS updated a little while ago and killed their Stream Deck compatibility, and they've been promising they were going to fix it, and it just keeps circling the fucking drain. So that is where we are. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome in. Don't mind my whinging. That's just part of what I bring to the table. And speaking of bringing things to the table, Hamburg, Dak, and DFW Dweghom both dropping those subs on us first thing. Hamburg, Dweghom, thank you guys so much. Did we have another? No, it's just those two so far. That's just fine. My mom always said life was like a box of Thunderhead strings. You never know what you're gonna get. I'm kind of trying to go for that panhandle drawl there. I don't know if I'm really any good at it, but I mean, I was born in Florida. That doesn't mean I know how to sound like a Floridian. Guys, thank you so much for your support. 26 months, Hamburg, you absolute maniac. It's wonderful to have you here. It's irritating. It's every time I'm like assured that it's gonna work. It's worked for multiple streams. I'm like, I can wait till the last second and push the button, and nothing happens. I really do need to address that, and I guess I'm just gonna have to ditch the Stream Deck and go for some more traditional macros or something, because that's just fucking frustrating, and it's not gonna work the whole rest of the stream. I'm gonna push the next button. Watch, nothing's gonna happen. You ready? Why? Why is the question? Because I've changed literally nothing since the last time it worked, and that's why my blood pressure spikes. Maybe I should use something other than... What are my alternatives to OBS Studio? There must be some. I've been using it for so long, I haven't really thought of doing anything else. I'm gonna start investigating the alternatives, because, fuck them. DFW Dweghom, 106 gift subs in the channel, and there go 10 more to Argrave, Runic Raccoon, Das, Fizzla, Aaron, Heath, IT, Ronan, who we met last time, Hellas, Vixen, Awesome Sauce Mouse, Kelski, N415, and Necrolovin. Conducting that hype train, we have Roland, hitting the 34 months. Oh god, it really is just 2 more months until 3 years, isn't it? Holy crap, what's going on? That's insane. It's absolutely insane. Roland, thank you so much for the resub. And Dweghom, thank you so much for the gift subs, you maniac. Have you had a chance to throw those bases that I tossed you onto the printer yet? I'm curious. I have the 40 millimeters ready for you. I'm working on the ovals right now. I did a bunch of bases overnight and this morning for the Rotmeyer Creed that we built last time. I got them all finished. After we got through the leader models that were like 90 pieces each, the rest of these little dudes were like 3 pieces each, and they were much easier. We're gonna work on the other team tonight. I have the Rotmeyer Creed bases that I just made on the print plate right now. I'll show you guys a render. I'll show you guys a render of them. I'm really happy with them. I wanted to assemble them because I measured like how big their feet were and how far apart they were, so that they're like standing strategically on little islands and on like fallen logs and stuff, and then the bases for the ones who are wearing stilts don't have any land on them, so I can extend the stilts down into the water. I think they're gonna look really cool. I think they're going to look really cool. We'll find out. We'll find out this week. I'll show you guys some renders so you can get an idea. Oh my god, still going. Dwegham, you absolute maniac. Thank you so much, man. Bit early to be having a crisis, Thunderhit. It is never too early to have a midlife crisis, my man. This means I'm going to die young and leave a beautiful corpse. Kaylee, it's wonderful to have you back. Good to see you again. On Kestis, used VMIX, but it's expensive, and my Stream Deck did the same thing in both. That's not very inspiring. It's such an incredibly useful tool, and I like it so much when it works. But the problem is that it's just completely inconsistent now, and inconsistent is almost worse than just broken. Because if it was just broken, I wouldn't try to use it. Instead, I do. And nothing fucking happens. L Fire Spray, welcome in. It is good to see you too. It is going well. L, how have you been? You have a lot of projects on your plate lately from what I've seen. How's that going? Alright, I'm gonna do this manually. Let's just do it. Because my fucking transitions don't work. 3 years and I don't even have working transitions. Beautiful, isn't it? Dwegham, these are the, I have here my test prints of the set that I sent you, and these are all the 28mm bases, which, if I'm not mistaken, is what the majority of the Votan box uses. I haven't put paint on them yet, but when you get them, you'll see that I changed the dirt detail, and I changed the buckled earth detail around the crystal clusters, and I made significantly more variations. I also added a little lip around the detailed portion and the rounded part of the base. I think you'll like these quite a lot. I would love some feedback on them. And I got the 40mm ones done, and I got the 90mm oval. I should have that done tonight for you, and I'll fire you over some pre-supports. I would love some feedback on these when you get it done. These should be completely dry brushable. Like, I wouldn't do anything to these but dry brushing, and I think they'll come out nice. I've been really dialing that texture in. I think you'll like it. Let me go ahead and pull up real quick. Hang on. If I go to here. Yeah, okay. And then if I open that up, and I wanted to show you guys, say for instance, this is the terrible render that I just did before the stream started. The loose crystals. Yes. I'm sending those to you too. It's literally these exact crystal clusters, just flattened on the bottom so they can be attached to any base. I'm holding it up. You can't see my camera right now. But it's the exact same crystal clusters. I redid them. I gave them some more shape. I gave them a little bit more interest. You're gonna get those along with the raptor legs. Calm down. They'll be in the mail. These are the ones I did yesterday and last night. And I'm really pretty happy with how these came together. I've got, like, some just random raised pieces of earth with, like, roots going through them. I've got, like, moss and mold growing on the water's surface. I've got cypress knees, which, if you weren't aware, those are those weird, like, wooden spike things that stick out of the water near cypress trees. I couldn't really find much on why cypress grow root systems like they do. Apparently people think the cypress knees might aerate the roots a little bit extra. Anyway, it's just when I think swamp, I think cypress knees. I don't know why. So I put a bunch of these in here. They're kind of interesting. These random little, like, fungal tubes were a design that I got from Booey, not Baba Booey. I got them from Sewer Creature. He was kind enough to do that design for me. Folks, thank you so much for the hype train, getting the night started off right. But yeah, the guys who are standing, who just have their feet on the ground, are going to be standing on these ones. These are the 25mm bases. And then I have the 28mm bases for the two guys who are on stilts, so their stilts will just be going down into the water. This one, the 32mm, is for the not quite leader, but the heavy hitter guy who doesn't have stilts, so he's going to be standing on this rotted log with, like, fungus growing on it and whatnot. And then the leader's going to be on this one. Since he has stilts, those will also be going down into the water. I think they're going to look pretty cool. When they're done. They're on the print plate now, so we will find out more about that tomorrow. But I really think this set came out nice. And I'm probably going to do a similar set for the Horns of Hashut. I have a general idea for what I'm going to do with them. I'm thinking, like, parched broken earth and then, like, some almost like skeletal-looking spines growing up out of the ground around them. I was thinking either, like, skeletal-looking spines like demon bone, Or I was thinking I could do like columnar basalt. I don't know, I feel like I've done a lot of that lately. So I'm not totally decided yet, but as I build them tonight, I'll probably think some more about that. This Mechanic Games, welcome in. Good to see you. Tobin Lord, Xander Shade, good to see you as well. Xander Shade, why are your legs in agony, man? You been working out? I mean, there are worse things to be doing. Yeah, we got these guys all assembled. This handful of dudes I did after the stream only took about an hour because, again, these random bros, these are just in 3 pieces instead of the leader who was in like 9. I continue to fucking love this model though. This is just, it's just such a fucking cool model. And he's gonna be, I'm gonna make the stilts probably about this long, and I'm gonna put some wood texture on them so that they match the rest of them, but he's gonna kind of tower over the rest of the force standing in the water. But we got them put together, so let's back out a little bit, and we're gonna be launching into another team. And that'll be all the teams that I have for Warcry. Move some stuff out of my way here. I already know what arrangements I'm going to go with on these builds, so we might as well just go ahead and get started. 8,000 is my goal. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. Nicely done, Xander Shade. Helped some relatives finish moving some stuff out of their old house today. 5 to 8 trips from the 1st to 3rd floor and back. All about those steps, man. Stair steps. Yeah, maybe just sit down for a while, though. Maybe drink some water and just relax. Alright, let's get started. Where are we? Start with the big guy, who has the option of... He's the Ruinator Alpha, with Heavy Flail or War Bident, which from everything I've seen, he wants the War Bident, so that's what we're going to build. I shouldn't have to drill or pin any of these guys because they're not on stilts, so that should go faster. Let's see. B50, 51. Cha-cha-cha-cha-cha. We're down in the 20s here. I'll bet this is on the other sprue. You know, that joke occurred to me as I was reading it, Kaylee, and I just breezed right past it. I was like, no, I can't really make that work, so we're just not going to do it. These guys can more be standing on the ground. They do have these, like, they have, like, boots that make their feet look like they have cloven hooves, which is kind of cool. How's everybody doing today? How has your week been shaping up? I hope the answer is for the best. New one is about to start Monday, tomorrow. Oh god, I have so many appointments tomorrow. I'm gonna go see a chiropractor tomorrow for the first time and try to get a neck adjustment. That should be an interesting time. Plus, I gotta go to the VA. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying, Shadowcat. There's 50, 51, 52, 53, 54. Here's 52. I think these guys are gonna look pretty good on, like, broken, blasted earth with something busting up out of the ground. I kind of want to give them something to elevate them up off the base like everybody else has. All the Rotmire Creed guys are elevated about 4 millimeters off the base, but I'm not sure what they should be standing on. That's where I started to think columnar basalt, because you could do, like, columnar basalt rising up out of the ground of them standing on it, but I don't know, I guess then I could do, like, spines coming up out of the earth around them. If you have any ideas, please feel free to let me know. They're kind of fire-themed, like fiery chaos-themed. Squigs are good to stand... Yeah, there you go, Squeezel. That's a perfect idea. Neck adjustments work wonders. I've never had one, and I have problems with my posture, and I have neck tension migraines. So I'm hoping that yields positive results. 53, 54. There's 53. These guys have sweet-ass helmets. There's 54. These assemblies always get easier the more you clip out, because there's just fewer options. Oh, I have the option of 2 different racks of horns. Either just horns or horns with a chain. Since he's the Ruinator Alpha, he should get the sweet-ass horns with a chain. That just feels right to me. And that's 61 over here. What is even the point of being a Chaos Cult Leader if you don't get to link your helmet horns with a chain? Okay, he also needs 56 Amber Tech. Dropping a couple of those, them thar community subs, hitting camo specs online, and male pattern blandness. My, what a name. Hamburg, dude, thank you so much. Hamburg, you're one of the biggest supporters of the stream. I have no words for how much I truly appreciate your support, man. But more than anything, I'm always just glad to see you here. Where the fuck is 56? Oh, there it is. I was touching it. It was a bullet would have gored me. Now he wants the War Bident, so he wants 57 and 58. Games Workshop, too cool to use tridents, or rather, I think they just recognized their bull theme, so instead of tridents, they should have bidents. That's pretty fun. Could have just called it a war fork, but where's the fun in that? 57. He's holding on to some kind of incense burning thing here. Okay, I don't know what the fuck that is, but we're gonna go with it anyway. And I think that's all the pieces for the Alpha. And evening to you, Delta Ice. How have you been, man? Stormcast Eternal's prosecutors have tridents. Yeah, but they don't worship a bull god. If you worship a bull god, you're going to look for all the opportunities you can find to have a two-pronged weapon. Oh, Hamburg, thank you for the reminder. I'm gonna have these models done by fucking Thanksgiving, Rhino. That's why these got bumped to the top of the queue, is because I found out last minute that I'm hosting Friendsgiving with Hethrir, and I was like, well, fuck, I gotta get Warcry done so that we can actually play some. So I'm launching into the box, and I'm getting it done as fast as I can. Well, yes, it's a real... I'm not saying they made it up, I'm just saying it's uncommon phrasing for Gadarung. Most people would just call it a fork. There are plenty of very real words that just aren't used very often. What is my opinion on the Voxelab Proxima 4K? I don't really have one. I'm not familiar with it. Mars 1 just died completely, so looking to replace it next week. It seems like the Mars 1s in existence are starting to hit the end of their lifespan. As long as you got one of the later generation Mars 1s, you can still get some replacement parts for it, but if you're like me and you early adopted and got the Mars 1 V1, you really can't get parts for it anymore. You can't update the firmware anymore. They're dying out. Thanks, Rhino. I appreciate it, man. Yeah, exactly. You can't buy the parts for it. I had the same problem with mine. I just went to the Mars 3 personally. I can't speak to the Voxelab models. Yeah, I'm gonna put on some gloves so I don't cut myself. I have cut-resistant gloves for a reason, and it's because my fingertips have already been jabbed with enough X-Acto knives. You can usually get it cheaper than that if you look out, Delta Ice. And I honestly, like, Datron Voltari here is saying the Mars 3 Pro is awesome. I have no doubt that it is. My personal opinion is that the benefits of the Pro over the Standard are not really enough to justify the difference in price. I would personally recommend just looking at the Standard version. God damn, these guys They do not skip on their core exercises. Alright, there's those two. What are you up to today, Rhino? I'm excited. I'm excited for your new PC assembly, man. I'm impressed that you went ahead and streamed from a phone like the psychopath that you are. There you go. See, that's all I'm saying. You can almost always find the Mars on sale someplace. And thank you for pointing that out for Gadarum. How many Battletech mechs can be printed at a time on the plate of a Mars 3? So, considering ideal angling, extra supports, I could reasonably fit between 5 and 7 mechs on my Mars 3 plate, while still leaving myself some space. I think that if you really jammed, or if you supported them pretty cleverly, or whatnot, you could probably do more, but I would say between 5 and 7 for a good support job. And it's going to print pretty quickly. I would say that would be done in between... I hate to echo the numbers, but it'd probably be about 5 or 6 hours. What's up, Chewy? How you doing, man? How you doing? Hope you're well. Just saw someone gifted me a sub. Thank you, whoever gifted me it. Aaron Heath, it's wonderful to see you. Always, always glad for someone to drag you into chat, even if it's with a gift sub. How you doing today, man? And yeah, that would have been our good friend DFW Dwegham, who just dropped some gift subs on us. Riot sister, my buttons still aren't working. I'm so sorry, but I'm gonna do it anyway. Where is it? Oh my god. It sucks so much. There it is.
Hello there.
How you doing, Riot Sister? Made it the full week without missing a workout, so feeling good with that. Dude, me too. Dude, same. Of course, yours is a little more hardcore than mine is, but I'm still getting myself into every day, you know? Plus, the computer's thrown off my rhythm so much that painting has been a bit of a chore. Really? I would have thought you would have thrown yourself full on into the painting. That Rhino, such a prima donna, you can't even paint models without an audience. Oh my god. It's insane. This is what social media has done to us. Remind me, Rhino, what forces did you get for Warcry? What do you bring into the table? I do like the design of the Bident. It's very reminiscent of a bull's horns. That's pretty cool. Now, I will point out one of the nicest things about using a curved blade like this, which I strongly recommend. I need to pull up the exact number of the blade that I'm using, because I keep ordering the same one. But when you have like a sprue gate on something, like right here, this little nub that needs to be cut off, you can slice it by just very gently rocking the blade against it like this. And the curved nature of the blade will slice through the plastic without you actually having to apply much or any pressure. And I'm just going to move it back and forth and let the blade do the work. This is a delicate piece, so I don't want to apply pressure, and boom, there it goes, it's off. Nice and smooth, nice and easy. Arkrave, welcome in, man. It's always good to see you. I hope you've been busy with good things. Same there, I just push forward and I let the curvature of the blade do all the slicing for me. Got the Khanite Shadow Stalkers, nice. Rhino, did you see the bases that I made for my Rotmire Creed? To Square, welcome in. I think they're gonna look fucking awesome on those bases. Like, I'm really excited to put them on there. I kind of stole the concept from Marco Frazzoni, but something tells me he won't mind. Considering he made a video about it. And I just kind of took his idea and made it more complex. And I involved 3D printing. Honestly, just decided to check Twitch and so happened to see I had a gift sub. You know, sometimes, Aaron Heath, the stars align. If the stars align to bring you into my chat, you know what? That's a good day. That's a good day as far as I'm concerned. They'll work for... So, I admit, like, these bases I have for my Rotmire Creed are super bespoke. To the point, like, I built the models first, and then I measured the width of their feet. I measured how far apart their feet were, on average. I spaced out the standing surfaces to that, and then I made ones without surfaces for the ones that are on stilts. But at the same time, they were fairly standardized, and I think that, like, most model feet are going to be around the same size and at least the same distance apart, and then I left some wiggle room. So it's entirely possible that they would work for those, Rhino. I'd be happy to send you a set of them. Like, I can send you a set of 10. It's nothing. That's one plate of printing. Recent Conquest announcement, they're pushing the Weavers back in favor of a poll for a new faction after City-States. That's actually really good news, because City-States is definitely what I'm waiting on. Aaron Heath, I'm glad you think so, man. I always love having you in chat. Big things happening, folks. Really, really, really good developments this weekend. I'm not going to go into details until it's finalized, but it's looking more and more promising, and damn, am I excited. Rhino knows what I'm talking about. That thing, Rhino? Yeah, that's happening, and I'm fucking hyped about it, man. It will potentially make 2023 a really fucking major year for me. Alright, that's him all cleaned up. Let's go ahead and put him together. I'm going to be building Warcry terrain on Tuesday, Rhino, so you might want to check that out too. Dude, the fucking box I got. The 2-player box for Warcry? These are the terrain sprues. It's a huge amount of terrain. It's kind of stupid. Like I said, I don't buy the 40k ones because I don't need sci-fi terrain, but I don't have much fantasy terrain, and like, that's actually quite a bit of it. Indeed, Kursala, you also know the thing. Alright, 50 and 51. Let's dry fit, see how they go together. Huh, okay. There. Shoulders and chest. And right there, a little bit around the crotch. And there we go. These guys are really into their bull theme. Need more fantasy terrain for Conquest, dude! I've got a couple of pieces I made for Conquest that I just haven't had much feedback on, and I'd be very willing to make more, but it requires more people to use it, because I haven't had that many opportunities to test it out, and I want to know how useful it is. I gave a bunch to the local club, but they haven't had many opportunities to meet since then. Three factions are Sellswords, Mage. The last dragon and his dwarf slaves hold up in the spire that made the Norse... Wait, what? Hold on, what factions are we talking about here, Dwegon? Alright, so now I gotta glue his helmet together. Don't want too much here. Let's scoop some of that out. There we go. Oh, new faction after city-states. Oh, okay. I was like, are those sub-factions, or what are we talking about? That's some madness. Oh, damn. What did I just do? There we go. Is that supposed to hang so far off the front of his helmet? I guess it is. Yeah, okay. And then he gets his big crazy bull horns. They go on top and complete the bull head. Like, he already has a giant helmet, and then on top of his helmet is a big bull head crest. This dude is not kidding. I think the Cell Swords would be a good one to, now that they have as many factions as they do, that would be a good one to sink some effort and development into. Parabellum announced new factions they'll be developing, we'll be able to vote on in the near future. Okay, because yeah, once they get past like Weavers and City-States, I'm not sure what else is left. I still think they're crazy to want to have as many factions as they apparently want to. Seriously, this guy's helmet is so fucking extra. I just think he would have... Like, this is a man who deals with the neck pain on a daily basis. Holy shit. Alright, let's test fit this piece here. Where does it connect? There, there, and there, and then down on the leg. Okay, I see. Yo, dog, I heard you like bulls. Yeah, it's a bit much. Even his spear then also looks like a bull. His shoulder pads resemble a bull. His helmet, he has a bull on his girdle. Like, he's taking this very seriously. His fucking... Look, I like the boots. They resemble cloven hooves. That's pretty slick. I would wear those, unironically. Not happy with the look they had for... I think that's probably smart. The last time they did that Dino Man was with the new, the Order of the Crimson Tower, and the new version that they did look a lot better than the old version that they had shown. Oh, that joke was bound to happen eventually, Kaylee. You know what? What's funny? This isn't even the end of it. He has another pair of horns that go on him. Yeah, we should... Let's put some little horns on his shoes. Right? Why the hell not? Like, I'm not even joking. I'm about to put another pair of horns on him. You know, if you're gonna be a bull, be a longhorn. Am I right? Oh yeah, Rhino's new emotes are pretty fantastic. Look at the sheer number of horns. It's he's gonna have to be standing on top of something to make him as tall as where did I put him? Where's my Wither Lord? Because these are gonna be the two leaders of the two different factions. But this guy's going to be standing up like this high, so this guy's going to have to be standing on something to make him of similar height, otherwise I'm going to feel bad. Alright, Alright, now it's just his arms. Oh, and I neglected to remove a little bit of Spruegate from one arm, so let's do that now before I attach it. There we go. What is the problem here? Chain is preventing me from getting this quite where I want it to go. Is the chain supposed to also connect? I can't really tell. As long as I can get enough contact, I'm not going to worry about it. Holding on to his little holy hand grenade of Antioch there. I don't think he'd mind too much, Mannix. How you doing today, man? Where's the printer? Not printing anything today? So the two FDM printers are not going right now. One of them is waiting on maintenance, and the other one is just between prints because I need to make some modifications to my Cyberpunk stall files before they go on again. The resin printers are going, but I don't have cameras on them because they're not fun to watch. And I missed a Spruegate here, too. Again, you see how I can get in here and I can make these cuts just by pushing forward with the blade and letting the curvature do the work, and that way I'm not pulling the blade towards my hand ever. I love these curved blades. This guy really does take his bull theme seriously, all the way through to the weapon. I have, L. Yeah. I've been doing some minis to take to Adepticon because obviously they haven't shipped the Kickstarter yet. But yeah, I backed that for a bunch of money, so I'm getting the whole thing. I'll be excited to see what you do with it, L. Wait, that... Cool Mini or not? I thought that was Monster Fight Club. Is that who you're thinking of? Yeah, resin printers are boring as shit to watch. You really, there's nothing to see until you pull the product off the plate. Alright, I'm gonna let him set, and let's move on to our next dude, which is going to be a Ruinator. What a name. 6263. Yeah, the Victoria makes some really good ones. See, they've been rejiggering their heads so that they'll work with the new Cadian sprues, which is smart. Yeah, I don't know what the relationship is between them and Monster Fight Club, but MFC are definitely the ones doing that Kickstarter. Because that's for Cyberpunk Red Combat Zone, right? Anyone know what is a good miniature painting handle? I can paint different sized models. I like Space Marines to Primaris Redemptor Dreadnought. So there are a number of good ones out there. Aaron Heath, the only, I have my own painting handle that I use, which is magnetic in nature, which is part of what I like about it, because I base all of my minis and all the bases that I make, which, speaking of which, if you look at this guy, I need to finish his guns, but I redid his face, and I didn't mean to do it at the time, but I accidentally Christopher Lamberted. Like, that's just what he looks like. It wasn't intentional. Anyway, I use metal washers in the bases of all my models just to give them weight. And then I have a magnetic painting handle. All the files for this online are free if it's something you care to use. It has these little pucks, it has triggers, it has a weight. Like, I really like this. But if you're looking for one you can just buy and use right out of the box, I have a number of the Games Workshop ones. Honestly, for the price, I don't buy a lot of Citadel products, but for the price, these are pretty nice. And if you're looking to do bigger ones, this is the newer one. It's just as high quality as the old one. I don't particularly love the really narrow part, but it does let you do this if you want to, which is kind of neat. You just put it between your fingers and kind of grip the model like that. And they also do make a larger one. This will fit something up to your Primaris Redemptor Dreadnought. So these are pretty good. I have a lot of painting handles. 62, 63, 64. Who'd have guessed? One never Lamberts on purpose. Thinking about how to elevate the Bullman. I bet it would be rad and consistent with the meme to have him standing on a big horn. Huh? Ooh, oh. What if he was standing on like a broken, ruined head of a giant bull statue? Is that too much? That might be too much. Could be cool. Lava flows. I was thinking maybe columnar basalt. You know? Because you could have that coming up out of the ground and then kind of stair-stepping behind him to give it a little bit more flavor. And then I was thinking, like, because I'm thinking, like, dry, parched earth is the basic theme. And then columnar basalt coming up out of it that they're standing on to give them some height. And then out of the parched earth have, like, some big, nasty, like, demonic horns, like bone, almost punching up out of the ground. Oh, it's a square. Oh, nobody was going to make that joke until you thought of it. Alright, 66, 67, 68. He is also wearing a big sweet-ass bull helm. Where's 67? Here's 68. There's 67. There's 80. It's a similar piece. There's 67. That's what I'm looking for. That's the bull face with the nose ring. What's that called? Is there a name for that? What's the purpose of that? Can someone educate me? When you see a bull with a nose ring, what is the purpose of the nose ring? I genuinely don't know, and I'm a little ashamed because my family traditionally raised cattle. I feel like I should know this. They must do it for a reason, right? Alright, I need 65 and 69. Yeah. Right there. He goes together pretty much just like the other guy. I like the little runes they have carved into their armored skirts. Thing is to attach a lead to it. I guess that could be possible. Just like a permanent connection point. To lead the animal around. Yeah, I suppose that does make sense. It'd require a little bit of extra. Oh, thank you for the reminder, by the way, GM Kaylee. I'm sorry I missed it, but I'll go ahead and... remnants of their teenage years, their more rebellious years. Now, the Ruinator has the option of 2 different sets of weapons, but I don't think they're actually different sets of weapons. I think they're just visual. Because it doesn't differentiate between them. The Demolishers can take different sets of weapons. Yeah, because they can take a flame hurler or a shield. But I'm just going to give him a pair of crushing weapons, I guess. Hey, Waffles, how you doing today, man? I guess I could give him a little War Bident and then a crushing weapon. The only one I don't really like is the flail. So I'm going to go with 71-72. I'm going to mix and match. Nobody can tell me what to do. Oh damn, even his crushing weapons, they have little bull faces on them. Yes. Ruinator becomes Burninator, technically speaking. I'm just gonna give him 2 crushing weapons, actually. I think that'll look fine. We're 73. Is it not on this sprue? That would be insane. That's about the most dangerous looking flamethrower I've ever seen in my life. That looks like this is like a sack of something explosive, and then he's holding that under his arm, and then he's holding onto a chain, so it looks like he maybe pulls a chain and squeezes with his arm to push flammable something through a pilot light out a tube. Like, that really seems horrifically dangerous to the wielder. I'm not at all comfortable with that. Where's my 73? Is it on the other sprue? I would swear it wasn't. Yeah, there it is. I think that's everything I need. Okay, let's clean them up and glue them together. Like a Scotsman who wants to commit war. Yeah, it's the most dangerous set of bagpipes in the history of ever. We could turn these into a flamethrower. I'll fill this haggis with scotch and then squeeze it. Flawless. Rio! How you doing, man? I was just thinking about you the other day. It's wonderful to see you. Warcry the flamethrower. The kids love this one. Warcry the lunchbox. Mel Brooks is he's a sharp man. He really did call the entire future of Star Wars in that one scene, didn't he? I mean, it's not like it wasn't particularly obvious given the merchandising that had already been going on, but that's exactly what they did. His actual desired title for the sequel to Spaceballs, had he ever gotten to make it, was Spaceballs 3, The Search for Spaceballs 2, The Search for More Money. And that would have been magnificent. Yes, that is genuinely what happened, Shock21. Also, fun fact, the black spaceball who's manning the giant pick as they're combing the desert, the one who says, "We ain't found shit," it's Tim Russ, who would later go on to play Tuvok in Star Trek Voyager. Oh, it absolutely was, Ren. How you doing, man? It's good to see you. Social media was a mistake. Truer words are rarely spoken. But I hope you've been holding up well. It's good to see you. Glad you haven't abandoned the hobby entirely. Well, I mean, anything can be a bomb, Waffles. If it's a container, you can make it into a bomb. I don't think that squeezing flammable fluid at the pressure of whatever you can manage with your arm through a pilot light is going to be a good idea. You've just put that bomb under your arm. But whatever, they're Chaos Worshippers. I guess that's probably not the dumbest thing they've done, even today. I do think it's kind of funny that this Warcry box is just two groups of Chaos Worshippers who worship different Chaos gods, who generally want to do the same thing, just with a slightly different flavor, and thus must kill one another. Oh, how apropos. The effective range of an arm squeeze, even if it does go wrong, the enemy will probably still be in the blast zone. It does only have a 6-inch range on the tabletop, so I'm glad they accommodated for that, because that's probably about as far as you could get that plume of flame to actually go. Rio, I am sorry to hear that, man. That sucks. It's wonderful to see you. Well, Brooks is to you, Bull, what a pristine and groundbreaking transitional fossil is to coprolite. One is of great worth to humanity. Yeah, there's just shit. U-Bowl has a valuable and necessary purpose within the greater ecosystem of filmmaking, specifically in Germany. And to get more specific, he has a valuable place within the ecosystem of German artistic tax havens. And tax write-offs, because that's pretty much what he is a big tax write-off for German businessmen. Nobody gives a shit what he's making. I actually like a few of his movies. Some of the wilder ones that he's done kind of on his own. None of them are like great, but some of them are kind of interesting, which is the nicest thing you could say about his movies. Actually, the nicest thing you could say about his movies is that one of them has a topless Christiana Loken. That is the nicest thing I could say about U-Bull's movies. I'm glad. You know what? I can tell how proud you are, Rhino. You should be proud. Here again, I have this nasty sprue gate that's hard to get to with clippers, and because it's on a very delicate piece, you could easily damage the rest of it on here. But all you have to do with the curved blade is get the tip in and then just rock it forward. Not really applying any pressure. Oh, and it goes right through. Cannot recommend these curved X-Acto blades enough. I'll put one up on the Discord. They are... Does it say on the thing? I might need to get more anyway. Oh, here they are. Oh, and it doesn't say the number on it, does it? No, because I peeled off the thing. But I get them in a container like this, with like 5 or 6 blades. It says GT28 on the blade itself. I'll look up, because I order these on Amazon. Just whatever you do, don't buy those goddamn Citadel sprue mold line removers. Those things are a fucking ripoff. Citadel makes a couple of good tools. That is not one of them. Virtually everything they make that is good, you can get one just as good from somebody else for cheaper, too. Except the paint handle. I do recommend the paint handle. It's well priced and effective. Ryan prints and paints and chats, as we've just proven. Ryan, how you doing today, man? Dental scrapers also work well. They're good tools to have just for general modeling and sculpting, I would say. Dental tools and then like silicone color shapers. Hard to go too wrong. One more piece, then we can glue him together. Oh, I'm excited. I'm excited for the Rotmeyer Creed bases to actually finish getting printed. I don't anticipate any issues. I used a new workflow that I've developed for base making that made them go quicker, and made supporting them even go quicker. I think that this is like... I've really kind of dialed in my base making, and I'm excited to see the first round. Can't find the Storm Report channel. It should be under... it's relatively towards the top. Under, not local weather. What's the category? It's right under Storm Watch, where you'll find stream pings. It's like the 4th category down, and at the very bottom you'll find Storm Report. Ooh, what you gonna post? I'm excited. There, here, that should do. I want to give it a little extra here, a little extra there for the chains to attach. And then his leg, which looks like that's going to stick. Why does it tell me to do this after? Seems like this should go on first. The hell? Oh no, I guess it goes on like that. Okay. No, that makes sense. And some glue here, and up in here, and right there. Should be adequate. Just some stuff I've been working on lately. It definitely should be there. It shouldn't be blocked to anybody. God knows, I want to see what you got. The good news is you've got at least an hour and 10 minutes to figure that out. Alright, let's get his little piece of skirting put on, which thankfully has some really obvious connection points, so that's easy to do. Alright, let that set. Let's put his helmet together. God, these guys' helmets are so fucking extra. A little excess glue, no big deal. Just gonna go ahead and pull that out. Tip of my blade here. I got a good hold. Let that set before I put it on. And might as well do his back horns, because he's got them too, because why not? We're in a bull cult, right? All the coolest guys have horns attached to their backs. Why can't I line this up? Why am I so incompetent? Oh, God. Hey, come on. There we go. Gotta get the right angle on him. Now, do his helmy. Line this up without applying pressure in any direction that's going to offset his horns. There we go. That seems to have set nice. That really is a huge helmet. God damn. Now some crushing weapons. That is the other hand. Oh. I neglected to remove a little piece of sprue gate from this hand. Let's do that now. I'd gotten them all, but clearly I wasn't paying attention. There we go. Yeah, that is odd, Ryan. It definitely shouldn't be invisible to anyone. God damn, I failed to remove the sprue gate from literally both of these arms in the same spot. That's astonishing. I mean, less astonishing if I did it to both. That means I just failed to look in the same spot on both arms. Now's the time to do it, though. Kind of angle this in to give me a little more access to his chest for painting purposes. Oh, camera froze. We're having a great night tonight. Give me a second. Now, that hasn't happened in a while.
I know you're really focused, Thunderhead, but your camera is not.
There we go. And I think I'm going to go ahead and rotate this one out a little bit more so he's kind of angling both of his maces to the side. Looks like he's getting ready to bash somebody pretty damn good. He's not quite as fancy as the Ruinator with the chains on his horns. That's why he's the boss. Jesus, these guys. Considering how primitive the other faction is, I'm astonished that these ones are so ornate. It really hasn't. And again, I have no idea why it happens, because it happens so rarely. It's not... inconsistent problems are a pain in the ass. Alright, so I want to do... I'm going to skip one page. Because I want to do one Demolisher with a Flame Hurler and one Demolisher with a Crushing Weapon and Shield. And then I'll do all the rest of them with just Crushing Weapons. But these ones have to be on specific bodies, so these are the ones I'm going to do first. So, 74, 75, 76, 77. There we go. 74. $75. For some reason, his foot is completely separate from the rest of his body. Whatever, I'm not going to question it. GW's good at making sprues. $76. 77. That's this. That's the front of his body. Okay. His horns are slightly less impressive. His shoulder horns, that is. His head horns, too. They're smaller. $82, $83, $84, $78. Okay, here's $82. Here's 84. Looking for 83. There it is, random bit of arm, entirely by itself. Also needs 78. God, this guy has a lot of pieces. It's odd. There's 78. At least I'm clearing this sprue out. That's something. Yeah, that would only work if you could do that in my ear, Shock, but I do appreciate the attempt. $79, $80, $81. Here's 81. Those are his horns. Here's 79. What the hell is 80? Oh, I see. It's another little bull face with a nose ring. Teeny, teeny pieces. That should be everything for him. Yep, let's clean it up. I appreciate the amount of detail they're able to get by splitting these monopose figures up into all these crazy pieces on the sprues. At the same time, it really does result in some portions of their body that are crazy fragile. Like, this is, by itself, an incredibly fragile piece. I've weirdly, as time has gone on, found myself more of a fan of the modern GW monopose figures than I would think, being the massive edgelord contrarian that I am. You would just sort of assume that I'd be big on the multi-pose, highly customizable kit bash figures of the past, but I think it's really just that I've built so many of those figures over the years. I've built so many multi-pose Space Marines, and done so much work to try to get them to have unique postures on each one. I appreciate the monopose. I appreciate the more dynamic nature of the posing, and I realize that you're only really gonna get 3 or 4 distinct poses anyway. You know, 90 Space Marines, each of whom their only distinguishing factor is what angle they're holding their bolter at, is just not that inspiring. I saw somebody post something earlier today that was... You're right. You are, of course, Arkrave. Correct. Each one has its pros and cons, and I personally fall more in the monopose preference these days. I saw someone post on Reddit earlier how it was a shame that they weren't capitalizing on the release of Darktide by releasing a kill team to go along with the guys from Darktide. Like, you know, the player characters in Darktide. Now, I haven't played the beta, but people have told me about it, and am I mistaken, or there are no set characters in Darktide? You, like, pick a class, and then you can outfit them with a series of available weapons, and you can change their gear and, like, really customize them to look and behave how you want, right? And for that matter, you can play multiple on a team? It's not like Vermintide, where each one is a specific character. Yeah, that's what I thought. But that caused me to doubt myself, because I was like, wait, if that's true, then that's a stupid fucking suggestion, and it makes no sense. You couldn't make a kit to be those characters, because there are no set characters. I just wanted to make sure I wasn't crazy. I'm pretty hyped for that to come out. Everybody seems to have enjoyed the beta. I went ahead and pre-ordered it, and I'm ready to install whenever they're going to let me. The Star Wars IG-88/IG-11 pack comes with 3 torsos, 8 legs, 10 to 12 arms, and only 2 heads and 4 feet. What does it allow you to build? Are there really that many cosmetic options? I know they gave you cosmetic options for Django Bajingabong, or whatever the fuck the guy's name is from The Mandalorian. Two-digit combined IQ squad, all Ogren all the time. Huh. I mean, okay. I guess I'm glad they're including that much customizability, but that seems like a lot of... I don't know. I haven't really bought any of the Legion plastic kits since AMG took over. Though I do think it's funny that AMG took over Star Wars Legion, and then just recently they were like, you know, making war games with like a bunch of models is like hard. What if we just make Marvel Crisis Protocol but Star Wars? Someone in the boardroom was like, genius! Should we make the model range compatible, like Kill Team and 40k, so that people could just use their existing models and then buy like extra ones for Shatterpoint and also use them in Legion? No, fuck those people. Completely different scale, completely different visual style. They'll buy Star Wars models from us twice and like it. Yeah, that does seem like the obvious direction to go, Mafik, is you know, some Tyranid bad guys, because it's all cultists now, isn't it? That's probably what I meant, L. I wouldn't know. I'm just gonna assume that you're correct. Jabango Bing Bong is my favorite character in Star Wars right now. That would be something, Shock, but I don't think they're gonna do that. No, Rio, different AMG. Yeah, you could have a bunch of humanoid enemies, because Genestealer cults are like a whole thing. All sorts of hybrids, and then have the big bad guys be the pure strain Genestealers. That would be pretty cool. But, you know, the game is almost certainly going to do well. It's already doing well, and it hasn't even released yet, so I anticipate there will be DLC, and I'm sure they know we want to fight all kinds of different Xenos, so... I have no idea who that is, Voxel Forge. You could be making that up. My favorite character in Star Wars is Therm Scissor Punch. I didn't make up that name. Therm Scissor Punch. Look him up. How you doing, Grey Mail? A Chaos Slaanesh cult. That would just be like busting in on a BDSM club in the middle of your mission. I'll just leave them alone, you know? This guy's not quite as cool as the other ones. He gets horns, but they're just not as extra. Alright, I have to attach this guy's foot individually for some stupid fucking reason. Grand Admiral Thrawn. That's like the next Star Wars I'm gonna watch is gonna wind up being the Ahsoka show, on account of the fact that they have cast Ezra Bridger and Grand Admiral Thrawn, and I just want to know where that one story's going, and then I swear I'm done. I'm out. Because I really like Star Wars Rebels, and I want to know what happens with Ezra Bridger. Hey, Gutsy, how you doing, man? Welcome in. I am, thank you so much for saying so. Soaking up a little excess glue. Oh, shut up, the square. Look, we all know I'm a giant hypocrite. We don't have to point it out every time. Did you get it figured out, Ryan? Alright, let's glue up his cheek here, because that seems to be the connection point, all caked up. Have not watched Andor, won't watch Andor, not saying it's a bad show. I don't know, because I haven't watched it. People seem to like it, though. So maybe it's good, I don't know. I hear lots of people saying, like, this is what we've wanted out of Star Wars ever since Rogue One, and I'm like, I hated Rogue One, so I'm probably just gonna skip it. How the fuck does this make any sense? I guess he's leaning real far forward like that. As long as those feet both go flat on the ground, I suppose I'm happy. A file to check that. Oh, not quite. This is the most awkward joint I have had to glue on any of these models. I don't know who the fuck designed this one, but he is a butthole. Okay, that lines up pretty well. And now this part kind of joins it all together. And sort of helps to guide the positioning of that leg, yeah? Okay. Let's check that one more time. What don't you like about Rouge 1? You know, Brad Wood, I don't want to, like, lay into it, because I know it's a lot of people will say, like, it's their favorite Star Wars movie, so I won't sit here and be like, if you like it, you're a dumb person. I'm not that sold on my opinion of it. It was not the Star Wars that I wanted I feel like it is, it's one really good act. The third act of Rogue One is very entertaining. And just as a film, the rest of it kind of doesn't work for me. The first two acts are a fucking mess, writing-wise. I'm not even really a big fan of the choreography, which kind of hurts me because I like Donnie Yen a lot, and I even like his character in the third act. But like everything to do with Saw Gerrera, everything to do with the Boar Gullet, all the scenery changes that happen in the first act, just bam, 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 going from one to the next, never giving you any chance to slow down. The fact that most of the character development is delivered in like flat monologue directly to the camera is just horribly uninteresting to me. The entire premise of the film, that might seem a little bit harsh, but it's like, it never needed to exist. It's entirely unnecessary. It exists because of one line in a much better movie from 30 years prior. And then there's the whole... The thing that pains me is, like, I'm a fan of Gareth Edwards as a director. I like several of his movies that he did prior to that. I thought Monsters was great. And Rogue One, to me, reeks of producer interference. There's so many things that are so messy that there's just no way Gareth approved them. And if you watch his interviews, he says the same thing. He's like, they wouldn't let me make the movie that I wanted to make. And so you have these weird things that are shoehorned in, like everything that happens with Vader at the end that clearly wasn't meant to be there. They were just like, oh shit, this movie's boring. What are we gonna do? Darth Vader, red lightsaber. And the audience is like, I clapped because I recognized Darth Vader. And they're like, oh, thank God, we're gonna make money. It does. The end of Rogue One makes the beginning of A New Hope seem incredibly fucking silly. It's like he captures her and she's like, I don't know what you're talking about. He's like, I literally just watched you get in the ship and fly away. I stood on the threshold and I shook my fist at you like a fucking Inspector Gadget villain. It doesn't make any sense. I hate that whole scene with Vader. I feel like I go into the details of it a lot, and that's why I don't necessarily want to revisit it too much now, but the whole movie's just sort of messy. And I dislike it for a lot of the reasons other people do like it. They're like, oh, it's a war movie set in the Star Wars universe, and that's why I like it. I'm like, that's kind of why I hate it. It's a Star Wars movie that doesn't have any Jedi in it. That's what makes it great. And I'm like, yeah, but the Jedi are like what Star Wars is about. And that's really what I want more of. Like I said, you want to look at... Well, and you know, if you want to completely disregard my opinion, I'll just go ahead and give you a reason to. I liked Solo. I did. Not the whole movie. It was not a perfect movie by any stretch of the imagination. It isn't even necessarily a particularly good movie. It was just a fun movie that I enjoyed. It watched like I was watching the film adaptation of one of the old expanded universe novels, and that made me happy. There are a lot of solid characters in it. It really has no relation to Rogue One, other than Diego Luna and the fact that at some point after the show he dies. Which is, you know, I guess that's fine. I cannot comment on the quality of Andor. I will not comment on the quality of Andor because I have not watched it, and that would be unfair. I've heard good things. It's probably good. Oh, why does this guy have so many parts? Can't remember any characters' names or lines except for the droid. Well, yeah, because that's Alan Tudyk, and his performance is always going to stand out, because he's amazing. Heard good things about Rogue One, too, and we saw how that turned out for you. Well, in fairness, I didn't hear good things about Rogue One. I saw that shit opening night. And I remember, because the theater was all fucked up, and they had to reset the projector. It always irritates me that the droid gets the big dramatic death scene in Rogue One when I'm like, okay, Am I crazy, or is this literally the one character in the entire cast who could theoretically be reassembled and reactivated after this scene? Like, everybody else is actually dying. He's just being shot to pieces. He's a fucking droid. But, okay, yeah, no, let's make this scene the emotional one for some reason. It's nearly as bad as C-3PO's whole, oh, I'm just looking at my friends one last time, and then they reset his memory 2 scenes later and everything's fine, and there are no consequences at all. But, you know, other people aren't necessarily looking in Star Wars for what I'm looking for, so... How the fuck does this go on? So it attaches right there, but where does the little finger go? This is irritating. Does it go across? Most of these pieces are obvious, and most of these models are easy to build, but this one is really frustrating me. And it's because his leg tends to wobble out of position, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to set him aside. I'm going to let his legs set more permanently, and then I'm going to attach the rest of his stupid, fiddly little parts. So I'm going to set these bits over here, and we're going to work on the next one while he kajiggers proper. What do you think of the Clone Wars series, the 2003 one? Love it. Love it, love it, love it. The first few seasons, they were obviously trying to find their legs. I maintain that the last 4 episodes of the Clone Wars Season 7, the return season that they came back and did, the last 4 episodes of Season 7 are the best Star Wars movie, period. They're fantastic. Alright, 17, 18, 19. This guy's a little simpler. I have not tried building the Spirit Hosts. Are they worse? Here's 18. $17. $19. $18, $19. 20, 21, 22. There's 20. Put that out. Actually like the new Dune movie, but that opinion is certainly not a popular one. Really? I feel like most people like the new Dune movie. I can't dislike the new Dune movie because I don't feel like it's... I don't know, it's like, it's good. It's not particularly interesting because it's like, it's well made. It looks good. It's got good visual design. It's got some really solid performances. It has a couple of weaknesses, and then it's like, yeah, okay, it's good. It's like I can't even criticize it that much, which makes it not as much fun to talk about. 21 and 22. There's 22. There's 21. Where's my little bull face? Be here somewhere. It's not on the other sprue, is it? That would be dumb. It'd be dumb, but that doesn't mean it's not true. Yep, it is on the other sprue. Just randomly, for no good reason. Right. 23, 24, and that's it for this guy. 23, he's a little shield with a bull on it. It was well made altogether. I have a hard time complaining that much about anything in Dune. I can do it. If you press me, I can find some things to be like, I didn't really like this, I didn't really like that. But it's a good movie. It's pretty. I think the worst criticism I can give to the new Dune movie is the gap between parts 1 and 2. I wish that they had had more faith in the project and that they had produced it Peter Jackson Lord of the Rings style, so you had one year, one the next year. But they didn't, so, you know, here we are. Waiting. It's a good sleep supplement. I think that I can compliment it by saying that it is it's probably the best use I've ever heard for Hans Zimmer and that awful noise that he likes to make. I see it as a gamble, but I really liked it. Smashing the entire plot into a single movie would have been a mistake. Hoping the first act did well enough to fund the second was a risk. Whoa, a mistake. Are you saying that David Lynch's Dune was not a great movie? That is sarcasm. That's not a good movie. Like, I'm a fan of Dune, and I'm a fan of David Lynch, and that's not a good movie. I won't even pretend that it was. It's an interesting movie, but it's not a good one. Because it has a cat that you milk, yes. Because it has a cat that you milk, and because it has a battle pug. I feel like some of the casting choices were odd, but it was a lot of fun. I tend to agree with you, Ryan. Some of the casting choices were strange to me because they were, like, really good actors, and they didn't do anything in the movie. Like Oscar Isaac as Duke Leto, he had, like, 2 scenes. They cut out a huge chunk of what he was supposed to do prior to his death. And so it's just like, hey, I'm Oscar Isaac, I'm getting paid millions of dollars. What's up? I'm in the background most of the time, but sure, yeah, I'm in the movie too. Rebecca Ferguson absolutely stole the show as far as I'm concerned. She's a great actress, and her Lady Jessica was fantastic. It is, Ryan. It is a terrible movie. But that's the thing, though. I can talk more about David Lynch's Dune than I can about Denis Villeneuve's Dune because it is more interesting, because it has battle pugs, because it has a cat that you have to milk to not die, because it has big mutated baby navigators that ooze all over the floor, because it has heart plugs. I know, Forlorn Hope, I'm so terribly sorry about that. Spoiler alert for a like 70-year-old book. Is that how old it is? I'm not going to do that math in my head right now. The tooth. The tooth. It does have a great look. I think that the thank you. I was close. I was off by about a decade. I think that it is a sign of how good the visual design actually was in David Lynch's Dune, that they borrowed a significant amount of it for inspiration for the new movie. Like, a lot of the Harkonnen architecture was very reminiscent of what David Lynch did with his version. I agree, heart plugs were a great addition. Also, I like the weird-ass steam bath that Sting is standing in while the Baron just spins in circles around him. I don't know what the fuck was going on there, but I love that scene. Want to hear a dark joke? I don't know, Mafik. It depends. How dark is it? Nothing against TOS. Bring me that floating fat man. The Baron. Yeah, oh my god, right? And having, oh, shit. That's Miguel Ferrar's dad. Why can't I think of his name? As the Baron. Or not as the Baron, but as the Padishah Emperor, Shaddam IV. Oh yeah, the big, like, the plastic sacks that the Sardaukar wore. What does Malaysia have that America doesn't have? Uh-oh. Lay it on me, Mafik. What is it? Twin Tower. Oh, that is dark. That's fucked up, man. It's been long enough we can chuckle about that, though. Shaddam, look at that ass, the fourth. Yeah, I know, right, Kaylee? Like, I was just thinking about that, doing some mental math. I'm like, that was 20. That was 20 fucking years ago. Oof. Have I seen Hodorowski's Dune documentary? I have. I think that that's one of those things, like, I enjoy that documentary as much as anybody, probably, but at the same time, like, it's fun to imagine how great that movie could have been, but I think the truth of it is that it would have just been weird and ultimately forgettable in reality. Like, it will never be proven to be bad because it doesn't exist. It will live only in our imaginations, and in so doing, it will always be amazing, you know what I mean? To call it ambitious is really underselling what Hodorowski was going for. See, I don't think that they explained enough, honestly, in the new Dune, because the Sardaukar, like, my wife is unfamiliar with the setting, so when they introduced the Sardaukar, I don't think they ever even said their name. They didn't mention, like, who they worked for, or the significance of their use, but it's like, in the setting of Dune, the Sardaukar haven't been deployed offensively in, like, a couple of centuries. So, to use them in disguise against the Atreides was a huge move on the Emperor's part, but if you're just watching the movie and you don't have any of that background information from the book, it's just like, oh, space mercenaries, I don't know. That's sort of what you assume they are. That's why I think that the new Dune movie is not a great standalone piece, but it is a fantastic companion to reading the book. You know, like, read the book and watch the movie and you'll have the best possible experience. But the movie itself doesn't seem to be all that concerned with whether or not you know what the fuck is going on. They don't explain dick about navigators or what the spice is used for. I had somebody ask me about the spice. They thought it was spaceship fuel. And I'm like, I mean, effectively, I guess. Yeah, like, it isn't, but at the same time, you could kind of think of it that way. Oh yeah, they did a reprint of that from Gale Force 9 recently. The Dune board game, the big old one, the Battle for Arrakis one. It is a good one. It is a good one. I did too, Arcgrave, and that's part of what frustrates me is, and okay, for someone like Skarsgård's Baron Harkonnen and like Dave Bautista's The Beast Raban, like, they weren't really in the movie much. They didn't really do much with them in the first movie, which is again kind of like, why did you get them if you weren't going to have them do that much of a performance? They had a couple of scenes that were good. Thankfully for those characters, they're almost guaranteed to be featured a lot more in Part 2. But then they did strange things, like they completely cut out the Imperial dinner between House Atreides when Princess Irulan visited Arrakis. And that's one of my favorite parts of the book. I love that dinner. And it's just not in the movie. I'm not really sure why. That would have been a great opportunity to, first of all, introduce Princess Irulan, who should be somewhat important. And secondly, to give characters like Gurney Halleck and even the Duke Leto a lot more screen time. And really sell kind of how young and immature and I don't want to say petulant, but certainly headstrong and self-important Paul Atreides is. It's the go-go juice for the vagina mouth mutants. Yeah, that's what David Lynch would have you believe. Oh, I didn't cut a piece off this. I'm just gonna have to remember to do it after this sets. Yeah, there was a real trouble with time scale in it, Kaylee. I was not... I think if I had to pick one scene in the movie that I didn't like, the flash forward to the jihad. Because for some reason, the Fedaykin are all dressed like Power Rangers? And I have no idea why. Why did the Fedaykin have to have crazy Iron Man transforming armor? That seems like the exact opposite. They wore still suits. They wore simple, dark still suits. And that was their advantage over the invaders of the desert, is that they didn't depend on advanced technology. So your answer is to give them weirdly advanced technology? I really don't know what they were going for with that. I'm sure we all know Duke wanted to turn the Fremen into better warriors than the Sardaukar, which is why the Emperor gave Harkonnen a lend of the Sardaukar, right? I don't think that the Emperor or the Baron had any real idea. In fact, I know they didn't have any idea how many Fremen there were, and they didn't know anything. Well, the Fedaykin don't exist yet, obviously, but they had no idea how many Fremen there were. So I don't think that the Sardaukar were a direct response to the attempt to weaponize the Fremen, because they thought of them as a pest more than anything. They didn't realize there were literally millions of them in the desert. He lent them the Sardaukar to ensure that the destruction of the Atreides went to plan, and also to demonstrate tacitly his support of the Harkonnen in their venture, and to keep the rest of the Landsraad in check. It was more of a message than anything else, because the Sardaukar, they were disguised as Harkonnen troops, but he knew that rumors would get out that the Sardaukar were there. And that's really a message to the other houses, like, don't fuck with me. Now, never get more popular than the boss, is essentially what that message is. Which is a line that Ian McNeice has in the Sci-Fi Channel version of Dune. Never get more popular than the boss unless you intend to sack him. Which, by the way, I quite like the Sci-Fi Channel version of Dune. The Sci-Fi original one, it's pretty excellent, by my estimation. Alright, let's get this shield attached. And then this wacky bull flail. Huh. Shield and flail guy. Why the hell not? We're getting there. We got 4 just about assembled, and only a few more to go, and the rest of them are much simpler, thankfully. Let's do flame guy now that he's had a chance to actually let his glue set. Where the hell does this go on his back? They show it in the instructions, but I'm just not grasping it somehow. This? Okay, it goes like that. That's where it connects. Alright. Anybody out there watch Yellow Jackets? Kind of a non sequitur, but has anybody else watched that show? Harkonnen estimate 50,000. Oh yeah, I remember that from the planetologist briefing. But yeah, there are millions of Fremen in tons of different sieges. And then Paul teaches them the weirding way and forms the Fedaykin. Oh, fuck yeah, Ryan Prince and Paints. Dune 2 was where I pretty much started RTS gaming, and ironically, that's pretty much where RTS gaming... Like, Dune 2 did so much for the genre of RTS. I think there are a lot of people who don't realize that Command & Conquer basically came from Dune 2. The building of a dynasty.
The planet Arrakis, known as Dune, home of the spice, melange.
I remember the fucking intro to that game. And then after that, there was Dune 2000, and there was Emperor Battle for Dune. And as I recall, all of those games were pretty fucking solid. Figure out how this stupid arm goes on here.
Now, 3 houses fight for control of Dune. The noble Atreides, the insidious Ordos, and the evil Harkonnen.
My favorite part was the badly animated version of the Emperor. The house that harvests the most spice will control Dune. Yeah, you have to choose a tag. There are no set territories and no rules of engagement. Why do I remember that so well? That's weird. Oh. Oh, never mind. I did remove that. That was just some schmutz. This is going to be a mild pain to attach, so let's use our pinchy tweezers. Alright, come on. Let's play nice. Let's align like we're supposed to. There's another reason you should always use plastic cement for these fiddly styrene models, as it gives you some maneuvering room. Cha-cha-cha-cha. Get up there. You're gonna be a little messy, but that's okay. Whatever. Doesn't matter. It probably is on good old games. Being rate limited. That's strange. I don't know why it's doing that. We seem to be having some Discord trouble today in general. I apologize for that. You remember in Emperor Battle for Dune, the Harkonnen buzzsaw tanks? They made so little sense, and I just didn't give a shit because they were so cool. There, flamethrower guy. Kind of a flamethrower. Set him down and let him finish setting. Where are we? We're at 8:12. Let's do one more, and then I'm going to take a short break, and then we're going to start the storm report. Go back a page, because those were the two specialists. Alright, 25, 26, 27. I didn't like the way they did the shields and the blades in the new Dune movie, I do have to say. Like, they look good, and I just... Any movie that is so obviously, you know, PG-13, though, kind of bugs me. In the sense that they both wanted to have people killing each other with knives, which is inherently barbaric, and also wanted the movie to be totally bloodless, so that they could get a PG-13 rating. I'm not a huge fan, and as a result, they didn't really show much of the slow blade combat, you know, the slow blade pierces the shield. Instead, it was, you swing swords at people, and they glow blue, and they glow blue, and they glow blue, and then they glow red, and then they fall down, and that was the whole thing. There was no further artistry or choreography put into it. It was just blue, 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 red, fall down, done. Like, I mean, okay. Alright, I need 26. But, these are personal qualms. I'm a big Paul Verhoeven fan, so it always kind of smacks of cowardice to me when a movie both wants to be violent but doesn't want to be rated R. We gotta sell the violence to our kids. 32 and 33. There's 33. Like, it did, but they also, like, flagrantly had laser weapons firing at shielded targets in the movie and just never said anything about it, and I'm like, wait, that should trigger a potential thermonuclear explosion. Why isn't anybody saying anything? And the movie's like, shut up, just shh, 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 shh. I need 31 and 32. There's 31. Exactly, it looked awesome and also made no fucking sense. Its faults are mostly cosmetic. Mostly. It does, Ryan, and it bugs me as a fan of the lore, just because I always thought the interaction between Holtzman shields and laser weapons was one of the cooler things in the setting. Can't wait for the Fedaykin Power Rangers. I saw somebody did that on YouTube. They just set that scene to the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers theme. It's basically what it is. Well, like I said, it's not really that interesting to talk about because the movie's just kind of, like, it's good. It has a lot of talented people working on it. It has a lot of really good performances in it. It has all the money in the world. It has really good art design. It has good cinematography. It has good special effects. It's just good. I can nitpick, but it doesn't really get anybody anywhere. And there's nothing really that interesting in the movie. It's just like, yeah, okay, I watched that and I liked it. Moving on. I can talk much more about a Neil Breen movie because the Neil Breen movie is so goddamn terrible in such confusing fucking ways that it just prompts more discussion. At least for me. I wanted it to be this generation's Lord of the Rings, but sci-fi... No, it definitely is not that. It is definitely not that. It could have been. But it's not breaking new ground like Lord of the Rings did. Nor is there that studio confidence in it. The Ornithopter design was really great, but the Ornithopter design being awesome was balanced out for me by the fact that carryalls got redesigned into giant flying scrotums. I don't know why that choice was made. Also, for some reason, did anybody else notice that they, in the carryall not picking up the harvester scene, they kind of wrote that off as just being a malfunction? When in the book and in all versions of the story, that is very specifically Harkonnen sabotage. I thought that was odd. $28 and $30, it looks like. Yeah, the subterfuge plot got dropped almost entirely. They didn't make a big deal about the assassination attempt. They didn't have the whole dinner, which was mostly about the intrigue. They just dropped all that. They moved past it so quickly that I remember it gets to the scene where the betrayal happens and the Duke gets shot. And I was like, wait, it's this scene already? Like, there's so many things that are supposed to happen before this. It just jumped through like a third of the book. Let's do 28 and 29. I think the two maces look better together than mixing in a flail. You know, I said the same thing after I saw it, Kaylee. As soon as I watched the movie, I was like, okay, first of all, you released this shit on HBO Max where I can watch it at home. I don't have to go to the theater to watch it. And then you trim a bunch of content out? I'm like, give me just straight up a 5-hour cut of this movie. I would have watched it. Include all the things that you cut out. Just make the full 5-hour movie. Why the hell not? I can pause this and go to the bathroom. Again, it sort of smacks of a lack of confidence in the property on the producer's part, which is kind of disappointing. I would absolutely watch a 5-hour cut of Dune. Unquestionably. Chunky Tuna 76 knows what I'm talking about. He'd watch that extended cut. Thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to the stream. You know what? You know, we gotta... Everything's relative. Everything in the world is relative, and we have to judge this. You can't judge it in a vacuum. It has to be judged relative to the other offerings we've had from Dune. It's not the most book-accurate offering. I think that would be the Sci-Fi Channel original version. But it's certainly the prettiest offering, and it's a fuckload better than those awful books we got from Frank Herbert's son. So it's one of the best things to come out of the Dune franchise. It might be condemnation by faint praise, but there it is. You're not wrong, Haley. I think one of my favorite movies to come out during the pandemic was Bill and Ted Face the Music. And it's not, like, amazing. It's just fun. And it's very much in the spirit of the first two Bill and Ted movies, and it was, like, upbeat at a time when I needed something upbeat that didn't feel contrived. Glad I got to be the dude in the audience who was in the... Yeah, Dr. Rhino got to be the guy who's, like, leaning over to people going, you know, and, the Lady Jessica, that's not his wife. That's just his concubine. And she wasn't supposed to give birth to a boy. She was supposed to have a girl. Yeah, they're not going to say that, but it is what it is. Duh. I don't know why he sounds like Sylvester Stallone. Did I not... Oh my god, what am I doing? Did I not clip off the front of his body? I don't think I did. I just completely missed that, and I started gluing. Not even paying attention. Where's 27? There it is. Yeah, it's still on the sprue. Woo! I'm losing it, guys. Still, 2 hours, and we got through most of the assembly of this team. That's not bad. This team goes together a lot easier than the Rotmeyer Creed. That's fine. I've only got 2 more of these dudes, and then a couple of the basic 3-parters with the hammers after this, so I should be able to get that done easily. Forgot the ab piece. I did indeed. Hey, what's up, Leaf Painting? You can see a trend where we move away from movies more and more and see more serialized stuff being produced. It's you know, it's more possible to keep up with serialized shows now than it was in, say, the 90s, which is, I think, is, like, the rise of streaming is, in my opinion, a big part of why that format has taken off. You needed more episodic things in the 90s because you weren't guaranteed to catch every episode of something, but now you can't miss an episode if you try. I was very pleasantly surprised by House of the Dragon. That show was great. What brands of nippers should I get, as the ones I've been using are garbage as I struggle to cut anything with them. Does anyone have recommendations for good ones? I put this in the Discord server, just not sure where to put it. The appropriate channel would be... there's just a model discussion. That would be the most appropriate place in the Discord to put that question. I know that there are some people, we have some gunplay builders in the server who would have good answers for that. I use the cheap-ass nippers that I get along with my 3D printers, so I don't have a great answer for that. I've heard good things about Citadel's nippers. I don't know, I can't guarantee that they're worth the price, because I think they overcharge for a lot of stuff, but, and I wouldn't buy a lot of their other tools. I wouldn't buy, like, their mold line remover or anything like that, but their nippers may well be good. I don't really know. Yeah, I think it's just miniature discussion. But I would ask some people who do like gunplay building, because, man, they know their nippers. They really do. There's definitely some that are wildly overpriced, though. So it's good to ask. That was a horrible troll. See, Basalts, and I'm too... I didn't want to jump on you for that. I didn't want to be like, never buy Citadel, fuck Citadel, just because, you know, some people like their stuff. And I haven't used their nippers. I would guess they were wildly overpriced like basically everything else they have in their modeling range, though. Still, the only one that I will definitely say don't fucking buy is the mold line scraping tool, because I know that's a piece of shit. I try to never tell people not to buy something unless I know for sure it's a waste of money. Try to be fair. Even to GW, the bastards. Ah! Come on. Last piece I need to stick on there for Bull Mace guy. Okay. 2 more like him, and then a couple of the basic dudes who just have hammers, and this team is ready to go. But folks, I'm going to take a short break. I'm starting the Storm Report a little bit late, but that makes sense because we started the stream more than a little bit late. Folks, give me a couple minutes. I'm going to stretch my legs. I'm going to grab a little something more to drink, probably hit the head I'll be back in just a few minutes, and when I get back, we'll go ahead and roll right into the storm report. So if you don't have your entry in yet, and you want to, now's the time. See you in just a few. Just push the button again. Nothing happened. Oh my god, I hate my stream deck. Okay. Every time. Every time I push that button and nothing happens, I am freshly irritated. I'm sure hearing me complain about it constantly is what you're here for, ultimately. Get some of my tools put away here. By the way, I strongly recommend a magnetic strip on the wall in front of your modeling and painting area. That's where a lot of my tools stick. Oh, God, excuse me. Never change, and I never will. That's a sign of a healthy, well-adjusted adult, right? Alright, let's see. I've got 2 more of these guys to make. And then 1, 2, 3 of these, what are they called? Shatterers. There's guys with, like, hammers and picks and shit. And then on Tuesday, we're gonna lay into the terrain building, which is pretty elaborate. Like big trees made of muscle with spines that I don't understand at all. Dragon bones and shit with trees growing out of them. Bamboo bridges and platforms. It is a remarkable amount of terrain. I didn't expect this much to be in the box, and I hadn't really checked before. But yeah, we're gonna lay into building this stuff Tuesday and see how much we can get done. It's because I know you, Datron. I'm gonna sneeze. Excuse me. Alright, finish those up later. Oh, my marsh bases are at 50% on the resin printer. I'm probably gonna stay up late tonight to get these guys pinned in and go ahead and green stuff their stilts. Because man, I am just excited as hell to see what these guys look like on their custom-made marsh base. Can we focus? Thank you. Just really excited to see what these guys look like on their custom-made marsh bases with their stilts and everything. I think they're gonna look awesome. And yeah, I'll probably get to work concepting and sculpting up the bases for these guys, because they definitely need, if I'm doing that work for one force, I've got to do it for the rest of them, you know? Why is that not stuck in as much as it should be? Oh, I guess it is. Alright. It does seem to be true, though, that in this faction, your rank is largely determined by how many sets of horns you have on your armor and about your person. Thank you, Kaylee. Alright, let me get this pulled up here. Oh, it's so disappointing. The buttons were just working last time, too. Thought rank was down to hat height. No, Basalt, that's the Catholic Church. It's an easy mistake to make. I totally understand. Sort this by date posted so I can zoom down to the bottom. And there we go. And away we go. I'm going to push this button. Nothing's going to happen. Yep. So we're gonna do it manually yet again. Here we go.
Alright, Locusts and Gentlemechs, get ready to feast your eyes on glorp paint and wet palates with the occasional culinary atrocity thrown in on tonight's Storm Report, brought to you by viewers like you.
And then there's nothing there. And that's just because I need to refresh this shablamo. And they were, yeah, she didn't get cut off because I did it manually. We should just do it like that from now on. Oh my god, what are these things? Those aren't in the Storm Report. That's amazing. I wonder who made those. Aren't those super cool? Wow. Alright, up first we have a little bit of business here from Journeyman Paint Hour. You want me to review my own bases? Wow, you did a really good job sculpting these. Thunderhead. We'll review them when I get my models put on them. How about that? Here we have from Journeyman Pain Hour. They slipped. That's why their aim is so bad. Finished my skirmish list for Legion. Got some Poron resin. I haven't played Legion skirmish. It seems like a really fucking good idea, though. If I'm being totally honest, it seems like a wonderful idea for the game. I've been considering breaking out my my Confederate. What is it? The Confederation of Independent Systems? Yeah, CIS, and my Republic forces, and trying that out a little bit. What's funny, Leaf, is that model of Vader is the shortest of them. Oh, wait, no, I missed the joke. I'm sorry. Damn it. That's always embarrassing. Like, as soon as I said it, I'm like, oh, yeah, now I see it. Okay. Finished up my skirmish list for Legion. For Legion. Oh, that's a terrible game. Got some Poron resin and did Hoth bases. Base dark blue, layered turquoise, mixed light blue into the resin, and poured. Finished a blue wash over the resin and speckled snow. Vader got a bit more with cork to rise him up some, imposing presence and all. Curious for ideas if anyone has tried a similar concept with better results. Picker of the better bases, ignore the troopers' rather basic paint jobs on them. For rather basic paint jobs, those honestly look like some pretty decent stormtroopers. Stormtroopers are hard to paint. End of the day, it's one of the reasons that I think it's kind of funny that Star Wars Legion was kind of marketed to people who are new to wargaming, and as part of the Star Wars IP, it was trying to bring in more than just people with lots of experience building and painting models. One of the starter factions, in fact, one of the major factions in every era is like, here, you get to paint glowing swords and glossy white and black armor. Two of the most difficult things to paint for a new painter you could possibly think of. New Star Wars skirmish game was just announced on a weird scale. Yeah, Basalt, that's Star Wars Shatterpoint from AMG. It looks like it's probably just Marvel Crisis Protocol, but with Star Wars. Which, there's nothing strictly wrong with that. MCP is a perfectly good game. It's probably not something that I'm going to get involved in. Also, it's leaning into the Clone Wars aesthetic, which while I like the Clone Wars aesthetic in the context of the Clone Wars, I'm not going to buy those weird light bulb B2s. Like, that's just not something that's about to happen. I think they look kind of awful. But, you know, we'll see how that goes, and take it as it comes. The Clone Wars aesthetic was kind of thrown... Yeah, it's just... Like, it's cool in the context of the cartoon. But as soon as it leaves that, I don't know. I don't know that it's really going to work that well for models. I mean, you know, enough people will buy and play it. I'm sure my opinion is not going to make or break the game. You say this a lot, but how much are you going to sell with a box that has no Vader and no Stormtroopers? No, you're right. There is no choice. Shock, you have to have Vader, you have to have Stormtroopers. It's just the IP itself is shit for that purpose. You know? It's like... But I mean, you know, a lot of people have given it a try, and honestly, I've developed some pretty good techniques. Right here, we're seeing some good ones from Journeyman Pain Hour. Perfectly decent looking Stormtroopers. I personally went totally anal retentive on my Stormtroopers. I did like the little blue lines on their cheeks, and I did the green eye lenses, and I painted the undersuits a different color. Like, I went crazy on mine. But people have come up with some pretty good techniques for painting them. Decent looking Vader too. I like the snow bases. I like that they look like sort of broken ice with bits of snow on them. These are some of the better looking snow bases I've seen, and since that's what we're really focusing here on critiquing, I'm gonna say damn good job. I love all the little scratches that show through. It makes it look very believable, and the clumped up snow looks better than just putting snow down. Particularly if you're doing it on Stormtroopers, it's just gonna look like white armor with a white base, but using the snow sparingly and mostly having that sort of blue and turquoise coming through, I think is a great idea. Yeah, I do assume that they're about to slip and fall on their asses and thus not hit anything. I confess that, but as an overall aesthetic, I think it works really well. Now do it with some snowtroopers. I still think it's goofy. I still think it's so goofy that snowtroopers are separate units with separate stats, when I'm like, those are just stormtroopers in snow gear. Like, that's literally all that is. They're not different troopers. They don't use different equipment other than the fact that they have thermal layers on, but, you know, whatever. What are you gonna do? I still kind of wish that we had gotten Imperial Army regulars a la Solo. That was one of the coolest things that brought to the universe. Imperial Army regulars have been a part of Star Wars expanded canon for a long, long time. It's just the movies always jump right to Stormtroopers. And there's always been the disparity between how the movies portray Stormtroopers as incompetent line troops that are just everywhere and guards and shit, when they're supposed to be the elites. Why do I talk about these things? Why do I think about these things? There have got to be things in my life that are more worthy of investing thought in. So other than my existential crisis, yes, I love the base's Journeyman Paint Hour, and I would love, love, love to see them on some more Imperial troops, particularly, yeah, if you stick some snowtroopers on those bad boys. Really well done. I love the scratch effects. I love how it looks like the ice is kind of breaking or being walked on. That's great. Oh, and here we have from Basically Tabletop, the Blade Guard I finished Friday night. Let's have a look. Now, we gushed over this one. Well, not this one, the other Blade Guard that he had done in a different pose. We absolutely gushed over it, and, yeah. I like it. Might not be able to make the stream, but here's the mini I finished before crashing Friday's party, and we're so glad to have you sharing with us. Yeah. It looks like you did kind of a better job on the leather on this one. At least it stands out more to me. Maybe it's that the leather holster on the other one for his bolter was rotated more around on his hip, and thus had more green on it. It's hard for me to tell without directly comparing them. All in all, nice, simple OSL. Really, really nice, vibrant red. Love the kind of greenish blue dull tone that you gave the base. It has a good diversity of grit, like with the slate up here and then with the dirt down below. It's so much better to me than just using a dirt texture. Reads really, really nicely. Yeah, exactly, Kaylee. The green against the red is what makes that OSL just fucking beautiful and gives you the opportunity to really use a couple of vibrant sources for focal points. The eyes and then the sword over here, and then so much red on the shield. Decals are well applied. I'll tell you basically Tabletop, I'm excited to see this whole army together. I know you're doing it on commission, so please, 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 and I figure you will, I don't need to remind you, but please, please, please do take pictures of the whole thing before you're done. Really nice clean edge highlighting. Some of these are more difficult, like getting the red edge highlight here towards the inside of the trim, and I appreciate that you have that nice, deep, dark contrasting color division between the red and the white, where those panels are separated. Nice job on the skulls. All in all, these are some damn good looking white scars, my man. And thank you for sharing this with us. Yeah, this is the one that he got done on Friday before he rolled into the stream. Up next, we have from Ogrekin some Easterlings. Ooh, very exciting. I like the Easterlings. I like their models. I like their armor. It's some of the coolest costume and prop design in Lord of the Rings, and you barely see them. You barely fucking see them. They're in that one scene where they're marching into the Black Gate, and you get to see their armor up close, and then they're just kind of like extras in the background during the Battle of Pelennor Fields. And it's kind of disappointing, because the costume design was so good. These are the test models for my Easterling Lord of the Rings strategy battle game army. Effective, I'd say. It looks like you're using some good washes on the gold, and then you're doing silver highlights on it. That's my go-to for basic true metallic metals for gold. This looks like a nice, quick, easy way to paint these guys up, keeping yourself to a few limited colors. Looks like you're using some AP speed paints for like the boots and the down here. You did something that I just mentioned on the previous White Scar that we looked at. Diversity of grit, diversity of scale on the base. This looks like maybe like model railroad ballast or little broken pieces of slate. And then some tufts, and then some dirt, and a good amount of contrast down there. Keeping up the work for our mounted Easterling. Nice, good, deep gold on the barding for the horse. Contrasted well with the bright red for all of their fabric pieces. This is a great start. This is a wonderful start. Do a bunch more like this. Hell yeah, man. I really, really like the basing on these guys. Now, it would be, I think, a good idea to have one more color mixed in here. As far as critique goes, I would think you'd want one more color mixed in here. We've got the lots and lots of warmth. In fact, almost exclusively warmth. We got warm bases, we got warm armor, we got warm leather for the boots. We got red for the fabric. We want a cool color in here somewhere. And I think the easiest way to do it without changing the way that you're painting these guys and without deviating from like a canon color scheme, exactly what I was thinking, Kaylee, something with the tufts. Maybe remove the tufts and do something different. Either tufts that are more distinctly green, or tufts with blue flowers. Or both. You could mix both. But getting in a cool color on the base is going to go a long way towards helping, particularly that red pop, without the models themselves blending into the bases. So green grass, blue flowers, something like that. Give it a try on a few of them, line them up next to the ones that you've done, and I mean, you tell me which one you like best. I think that that would be the easiest, quickest, and most effective change you could make. Here we have from Mafik, work in progress. Made it last because I'm too depressed for what happened last week. Here's what I'm working on. It may be kind of hard to see. Mafik, I really am sorry to hear about the troubles with your family, man. That's never easy. And you're probably going to be going through some more shit. And I'm really sorry to hear that, man. But keep your chin up. You know, keep working on your art. Do everything that you can to keep up with your education. I know that it's going to be hard. I know that money is tight. I know that time is tight. But everything you can possibly do to keep up with your education is just going to serve you better in the future, man. Definitely don't give up in your art when you're going through all this. That said, I love that we're seeing more of our Atlas puppet because this is absolutely my favorite thing. And we're adding a Mad Cat puppet. A bizarrely oversized Mad Cat puppet, but I suppose that's fair. You know, he kind of looms larger in everyone's minds than he really does in the lore anyway. I love the Atlas puppet, though. That's just fucking... Like, I want an Atlas puppet when I see this. I don't give a crap about the plush Irby, but I do kind of want an Atlas hand puppet. Anybody out there who does, like plushy stuff? We can make this happen? We're gonna have to consider this. I'm looking forward to seeing the finished product, Mafik. Bizarrely oversized is very, very Battletech. You're not wrong. Let's see what we got up next. A little business from the Tobin Lord. Gortober Day. Oh my god. Repost, I had deleted it last time. There was an error and I wanted to fix it, even though I'm sure only I had noticed it. Almost certainly. Almost certainly. Does he have skeletal lava lamp bones? What's happening to this poor man's head? It's like his head is being crushed. The bone is digging into his forehead over here, and he's bleeding lava lamp juice out of his mouth and nose. This is horrible. Can I tell you, though? Like, I like a lot of what's going on here. I love the fluid dynamics of everything. Yeah, it's hard to tell. It's like he's being forced to smile. I imagine he's not enjoying it. I want to tell you, though. I want to tell you, Tobin Lord, my favorite thing. And this happens to me with art. I'll zero in on just one little small thing that, for whatever reason, is my favorite. It's right here. It's the fact that he's reaching between the radius and the ulna to hold on to his arm. That's a fun detail, since you went ahead and made him have the skeletal lava lamp. Wait, well, this begs so many questions. Are all of their skeletons lava lamps? I guess that would make, because, you know, we have the horns here, and then we have the bones here. So that would indicate that this character, with his blue lava lamp horns, his bones, his skeleton, are then also, that's a blue lava lamp skeleton. Am I overthinking this? Because I can't get it out of my head now. Want to introduce lava lamp tieflings to my D&D campaign. It can have all sorts of creative goo-themed powers. Blue tongue seems to imply this, yeah, but then the pinkish tone to his skin doesn't really match up with the blue blood. I question the sense of the physiology of these characters, Tobin Lord. I'm afraid that I have some issues. Blue blood, pink skin, I don't know. I don't know how realistic this art really is, which is obviously what you were going for, was absolute realism. Orange tongue on the guy back there matches the... But yeah, nope, you're right. If we're taking the context clues and just applying them to all our characters, that would seem to imply that he has a... Well, now I want to see his lava lamp blue skeleton. What a horrifying piece of art. Tobin Lord, I love when you share art with us and also maybe seek therapy. Here we have from Kaylee, I have returned, and so you have. Feel obligated to post something in the Storm Report for my first night back in months. This is a World War II Japanese soldier I 3D printed and painted months ago with AP speed paints. While not a new model, my Storm Report post is for the new camera, much crisper than the old one I was using. Enjoy, and feel free to comment on the paint job as always. I have improved every time you do. First of all, nice job nailing that World War II Japanese sort of khaki yellow. Their uniforms were a weird color. They were very much like a yellow tan. And for just using speed paints, that actually nailed it pretty well. Good looking print too. The only place I can see print lines are right here. You obviously printed it laying on its back. I would think for the print, if you angled it, it looks like he was probably laying sort of perpendicular to the plate. I find ideally you want to tilt it maybe 20 to 30 degrees up from that. I wouldn't go a full 45, but 20 to 30 degrees up for that will sort of offset those layer lines so you won't wind up with spots like that, and has the best result for 3D printer resolution. Good paint job overall. I don't want to critique it. The new camera seems nice. It is good and crisp. Little out of focus here on the left, where the rifle is in focus. It looks like more of a depth of field issue than anything. The answer to that is always going to be more light and increase your f-stop. That is going to increase your depth of field and make sure that the entire model is in focus. You can definitely tell because his feet are in focus, his rifle is in focus, and then his backpack isn't. This one is almost entirely in focus. You got him a little bit more flat. Left picture really liked his boots for some reason. Its field was just focused further away than the backpack, and that's a problem you're going to run into particularly if you take pictures of multiple models. I'm glad that you got a nicer camera. Just play with the settings. Just play with the settings and you'll find out exactly what works for you. Get lots and lots of light. And a good backdrop definitely goes a long way. And if you need any tips on that, Kaylee, we have a lot of people in the Discord who use some pretty swank cameras and can definitely give you some. Japanese soldiers looking good, particularly for a 3D print. Good detail on them overall. I'm not even seeing any little, like nubs where those supports broke off or anything. Even got that tiny-ass bayonet to print pretty well. Very nice. It's wonderful to have you back, Kaylee, and I'm glad to see some more painting out of you. Alright, what do we got up next? Tree Ant from Stonehaven. From Ryan Prince and Paints. Tried to go for an autumn birch look to this guy. Love how he turned out. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, the kind of more gray. I don't want to say aspen, but yeah, birch. I can definitely see where you came in. I assume that all these little marks are freehand. And that actually sells the bark texture really nicely. Really good combination of colors for all of our autumn. It's like a mantle of leaves that he's rocking, and they're all in autumn colors with a couple little splashes of green in there to keep things interesting. Very nicely done. I love the freehand texturing. Love the freehand texturing on all the bark. What does he want? He wants something. He wants something. Some little bit of punch, like in the eyes. Maybe that's it. He wants some Wendy's. Well, shit, now I want some Wendy's. Give me that Baconator. That is a buff birch. Something in his face and eyes. He needs a focal point. I feel like that's all this paint job is missing. I love the details on the mushrooms that are growing out of him. He has some green. Either, like, I want to say his face because you really want that to be kind of a focal point of the model, and right now it kind of blends into the rest of the bark. He needs something in there. Maybe a glow in the eyes would be a good touch. Maybe just something different in the bark on his big ol' eyebrows that he's got. Some green in the base, I think, would definitely go a long way. Like, the whole concept is really sound and well executed. It just needs a little punch. And I would say either a glow in the eyes or, yeah, some brighter colors on the base to kind of offset the rest of them. But the model itself is really cool. I love the concept behind it. I love the freehand. Really nicely done, Ryan. I'd take some Baconator, right? God damn, why do people gotta bring up cheeseburgers when I'm streaming? That's just terrible. It's just cruel, really. What do we got? What do we got? Oh, Vergaderung, you've been busy. So much more character than most of the historical stuff. Paint job really suits it too. Yeah, Basalt, it's more in the... I didn't note it when we were looking at it, but it's more heroic scale than the true scale stuff that you're generally going to get historical stuff in from like Warlord or any, you know, a variety of other producers. It seems like it's more suited to painting than a lot of the historical ranges are. Base is really too plain, but it's all it came with, and I'm traveling, but solid idea. I mean, it's a good-looking model, Ryan. It is a really good-looking model with a really cool concept and well executed. And I mean, you don't need to change a damn thing on it. It's just one of those where anytime I see a paint job that's just right on the cusp of going from good to great, it's like it just needs that just a little push, you know? Here we got from Vergaderung. You have indeed been busy. Got the last Kill Team box, the Space Hulk Interior one, built up the Imperial Navy's Breacher team. Really like these guys, especially the Power Fire Axe and the EOD Grenadier. Seem to have run out of nice bases, so those will have to wait. I might have some bases. I might have some base files for you, Verg. You just let me know. I did just do the RimWorld colony bases that I think would fit these guys well. I didn't notice that his Fire Axe, his Breaching Axe, was power. It has the little Power Axe energy deal on it. That's pretty neat. I like this guy's three-fingered Power Fist. That's a nice touch. So, you know... Oh, Homeboy has a multi-las, too. I didn't realize that. He's got, like, a low-slung multi-las. You don't see those on anything but, like, Chimeras anymore. But, so Vergaderung... I guess that means you might be sending a package my way, huh? You know? Some point in the near future. I have some that might work for you, Vergaderung. Oh, I guess some of them have dirt on them. Yeah, they're more like dirt and deck plating. If you just want deck plating, that can be done up easily enough, too. But, yeah, you know, this might mean that in my near future, I'll be getting the Kroot kin band. That's pretty exciting. It's a nice feeling. Let me know, by the way. What did we say? It was like 50, 56, something like that? I'll ping you on Discord later. We'll get that worked out, man. And thanks for splitting the box with me. I do appreciate it. Yeah, it's a trick. Get an axe. Oh, look, he's got a little robot friend. Classic 40k shotguns. I appreciate how Homeboy with the shield has his weapon actually mounted in the shield. And of course the leader's like, I don't need a helmet for some idiotic reason. Sure, why not? Kroot would be fun to paint. Kroot are my favorite Xeno race in 40k still. And I very much did want the kill team, the Kroot kill team that they came out with recently. So Vergaderung and I are splitting this box, and I am going to do up those Kroot on some custom bases, and I have a couple of custom models to actually go with them. I think that should be fun. Alright. Let's see what we got next. Here we have from Grey Mail, from the AI Cloud. What the fuck? I entered Bing Bong from Inside Out as a Mandalorian into the AI art generator, and this is what it gave me. I hope I'm not on some AI hit list now. What the hell? What? There's some weird shit going on in this one. There's also some like MC Escher level shit here, where it's like I'm seeing the inside of a sleeve, but it's also the outside and the cuff is turned back. And the layout of it doesn't really make any sense the more you look at it. This leg is broken, apparently. These AI art generators are getting insane. One of them was recently apparently just swiping a bunch of art off DeviantArt and entering that into itself to cut up and use as part of its generation procedure. And like, it got most of the aspects of a Mandalorian helmet right, but then it has the weird, and then like the cheek isn't quite right. It's too, okay. This makes me feel like I'm going a little crazy. Yeah, the hair on the end of whatever he's holding, it's either hair like a brush, or I see it as like maybe that's somebody's arm that's just kind of not fully painted, sort of coming out of the ether, and he's like holding onto their finger like he's being walked by a giant mother figure. Oh, here's something from Kursala. Let's look at this. I got nothing. Have some flock. Well, flock you too. That's a lot of flock, though, admittedly. Yeah, it's a little off, Leaf. It's a little off. That's a lot of flock. That's a whole lot of flock. Which, of course, I would be remiss to not mention that you can always hit !Rainy River in chat to get a link over to Rainy River Designs, where our very own mods, Kursala and Data Nerd, have a whole line of basing flocks, miniature paints, even some 6mm minis that they themselves have created. Tanks, mechs. If you're into Battletech, it's definitely the place to be. Of course, you can also find some pretty cool Thunderhead Studio merch over there. I'd probably be remiss if I didn't mention that as well. You want a hoodie with my logo on it? Who doesn't want that? Who could possibly not want that? It's so good. Go check it out. Now that is one big... Yeah, you gotta do the full Jeff Goldblum for that one. Oh, next up we got a little business from Arc. Yeah, no, that's just... You just put the glue in the shape of my logo and then you flock it. That's how that works, Kursala. A little bit of business here from Arc Rave. Can we please open when I click the button? Thank you. I appreciate that, PC. That's really nice of you. French Foreign Legion. This is my army for a Flames of War Masters next weekend. It'll be the 5th Masters I've been invited to. My goal is to not just finish in last place, since I haven't played the game since the beginning of August. You know what? It's good to make your goals achievable. It's healthy to keep your goals achievable. Now, this is 15mm scale, isn't it? Which seems kind of ideal, because I'm loving our... What are these, Mustangs? You got a couple P-51s in there. Little infantry squads. Looks like they're broken up into fire team-sized elements. A couple of field guns. Very cool. I've never played Flames of War. I've heard good things about it. I don't think I've played any 15mm scale game that wasn't... Oh, P-47s. Thank you, Datron. That wasn't like Heavy Gear or Cav or more recently Revelations. Kalini! Oh my god. It's always when we're in the Storm Report. Nobody ever raids in towards the start of the stream when I'm like, have I got content for you? Welcome in, we're gonna be painting and building. No, it's always in the Storm Report when I'm like, welcome in, folks, for a couple of minutes. Welcome, Raiders. Kalini's probably watching a commercial right now, so I'll give him a minute. Let's enhance. Get a closer look at our tanks here. I like the little bit of streaking that we got on these guys. Makes them look dirty. Makes them look used. Well, that's perfect, Kaylee, because I don't give a shit about historical accuracy. At least not in wargaming. I never like to do historically accurate wargaming, because historically accurate war is, like, miserable and terrible, and it involves, like, fascists and murderers and shit. I would much rather have a fictionalized version. A fictionalized version of real-world conflicts. Far more fun. Far more fun. I like to keep my fascist cartoons, you know? I like the snow basing, though. That's a nice touch, particularly considering how small and kind of simple a lot of these figures are. Kalini! Kalini, my man. As in unit composition, not mechanics. Oh, okay. Well, I mean, you know. If wargaming really resembled actual war, wargaming would be really fucking boring. One person would win almost immediately, and then it would be over. Be short, brutal, nasty, decisive engagements, because that's generally how it goes. Kalini! My man. Welcome in. Thank you so much for the raid. Thank you for bringing your people over. I hope you had a good stream. What were you working on? And don't feel obligated to stick around. Please feel free to raid and run. I know you've been streaming. You probably have some business to deal with. Midwez, by the way, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the Storm Chasers. I'm digging it. Arcrave, and I wish you luck not coming in dead last. That seems like a very achievable goal. I believe in you. Only thing I didn't paint is the planes. Those are die cast. Oh, there's some big heavy fuckers then, huh? Just getting base coat on a Stargrave Mini. Hey man, it's all about the basics. All I've been doing today is building. We've been building the Horns of Hashut for, you can't see it because it's tiny, but I'm holding it up anyway. For our Warcry Heart of Gur box, which I'm going to be playing over Thanksgiving, and I'm pretty excited about. And of course, welcome in, Raiders. I hope y'all are ready for a little bit of leaf painting. Oh my god. This is so fucking hot. This is so fucking hot. Yeah. Limited color palette. Limited color palette, well applied. I love this. It's pretty much just red and blue. Like, really, looking at this, it's pretty much just red and blue. That's all we've got here. The only true combi bolter. I don't like AI art as it needs to steal art from different artists to create the image it creates. Aaron Heath, AI art is kind of controversial right now. I think for good reasons. I don't like to get too into my opinion about it because I'll be the first to admit that my opinion about it is very knee-jerk and very personal and probably not the most educated on the subject. I do have kind of negative feelings towards a lot of the AI art generation. But, you know, a lot of people like to use it for a lot of different things, and I don't really want to alienate anybody on the subject until it has developed more. But it certainly is concerning for a lot of concept artists out there. And I don't like anything that's going to take work away from people who are struggling at the bottom of the game, people who are trying to just get that toehold in the industry, you know? And I feel like that's sort of who it's going to hurt the most. This is based off a screen cap. Been losing commissions to it, so it has the potential to wreck many careers. Exactly what I'm saying. Exactly what I'm saying. It's I don't want to be Captain Killjoy. I don't want to be a fucking party pooper or anything, because I know a lot of people who don't know much about it just jump in and make a bunch of stuff, and I've seen that, though, also. People, friends of mine, who do low-level concept art for people on commission, losing work to people who just plug what they want into the AI art generator and it spits out something close enough. It's a tough one for me, because I'm the same guy who will sit here and say things like, 3D printing is the future. Technology is a freight train. You can either get on board or you can get run over by it, but you can't stop it. And that's probably true. That's probably true even so far as the AI art generators go, but it's hard to get on board when it is... I feel like 3D printing takes shots at the big boys. 3D printing takes work away from Games Workshop and from Warlord and from the larger companies. The AI art generators are taking work away from the lowest people on the totem pole, from the bottom to mid-rung, and it just rubs me the wrong way, you know? It just does. They flooded red during Raining Blood, but there were blue-white stage backlight. That's pretty cool. This is super fucking metal, Leaf. It's just such a good concept, and so damn well executed. I love how the light remains consistent as you move around, and also I love the fucking glow pentagrams inside the speaker cones. That's a wonderful touch. 3D printing punches up. Exactly, Basalt. Exactly. I think it's fine outside of commercial work if you're using it yourself as a starting point, work for hire, make it hard to fight. That's the thing. Just another Joe. Tools can't be wrong, you know? The tools and technology it's just that. They're tools and technology, and used in the right way, they can be good, but I'm just coming back around to why I don't necessarily like to talk that much about it. It's a complicated subject. It involves a lot of value judgments and a lot of ethical judgments, and I won't pretend that I know the most about the technology, so I can't criticize it from a position of expertise. And what I wind up coming back around to is I kind of just don't like it, which that's a very personal position and a difficult one to argue. Yeah, exactly, Aaron Heath. I don't just want to be negative about new technology, but it rubs me the wrong way. I don't disagree with you, but Ford put a lot of carriage builders out of work, and we all own cars. That's the other part of it, Datron. That's the other part of it. That's a good point. Ford put a lot of carriage operators out of business. I'm reminded of the Mitchell and Webb skit where the they show like Caveman, who works as a flint chipper, and the flint and obsidian chipper gets put out of the job because a guy comes into town selling bronze. It's like, no, we can make all these things out of bronze. We can just cast it. It's amazing. We don't have to chip flint anymore. And he's like, well, what the hell do I do? I've spent my whole life chipping flint. Like, oh, you could pick up another skill. Like, you could start tying things to sticks. We need people who do that, too. It really is, Riot Sister. I just kind of wanted to leave this one up for a minute, because it's just, like, really take it in. It's fucking gorgeous. I mean, it's Leaf. And I love a lot of what he does. What I really like is how effective Leaf's painting is without being, like, super... This is an achievable paint job. Like, Leaf, if I just sat down and said, I want to copy exactly what he did here, like, I feel like I could do that. And yet it is still so inspired. It tells me, it shows me, it's a good opportunity to show other people that just being an expert in super complex and difficult painting techniques is not what it takes to make a good model. It's having vision. It's having good ideas. It's having good concepts. And that's what this is. This is a fucking awesome concept. I love it, man. Leaf, thank you for sharing this with us today, and really good work on the environmental lighting from two sides, and thank you for including both of the angles on this bad boy, too. I like to picture as he hits that whammy bar, that's what makes the bolter fire. A bam, 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 bam. But that, it looks like... Oh, yep. So it is, and so it will. That will bring us to the end of tonight's Storm Report, and consequently, the end of tonight's stream. And I had to do that manually, because my buttons still don't work, which is just nonsense. Oh, yeah, just another Joe, go ahead and pick his brain on that. Because right now, Leaf Painting is just, he is fucking aching to just gush about his camera setup and everything that he's learned over the last month or so. I know that he is. Because he just upgraded his rig so that he could do his... Joe, just another Joe, if you're not following Leaf Painting on Instagram, go give that man a follow. And Leaf, please feel free to post your link here in chat. He did a Gazkul Thraka recently that is just... It's gorgeous. It's fucking gorgeous. And it's so worth checking out. I love Leaf's work. I really, really do. Alright, let's see who's doing what out there in the Twitchverse here real quick. Sunday night, somebody's probably doing something. Not a lot of people doing a whole lot of anything. We could raid Amaranth. No, that's not about to happen. Is anybody painting? Is anybody painting? Nobody in my follow list is painting. Invader's playing War Thunder. Magical Hacks is playing Sunless Sea. Urkdad is playing Grounded. What the fuck is going on? This is insane. Does anybody have any recommendations? Because I have nobody to raid right now. I mean, I guess that we don't have to raid anybody. But still, that feels silly, doesn't it? Yeah, Bob Ross is painting. There you go. Gunmage, he's painting but not streaming. Well, we'll raid you in spirit, Gunmage. I guess we like. What do? We just like go to bed? Do y'all need Thunderhead to tuck you in? Midwest miniature guy? I tend not to raid people that I'm not already following, but that doesn't help me right now. Let's see. Let's have a little glance. Let's take a peek. Midwest Miniature Guy is hanging out, painting some MCP, working on Toad. He has a little slideshow on his stream that actually has a couple of pretty cool figures in it. Let's make this happen. He has the ugliest thumbnail I've ever seen in my life. Oh my god, that thumb. I'm gonna raid him just for that thumb. Nobody tell him I said that. It's fucking... it's really something. You'll enjoy it, I promise. Oh, I'm a bastard. Please nobody tell him I said that. Yeah, let's get that going. Let's make that happen one way or the other. I finished too early, yeah, so we don't get to do Teal tonight. That's okay though. We're gonna branch out. We're gonna branch out a little bit. The toad does look nice. I gotta hand that to him. Folks, thank you so much for joining me tonight for a relatively short stream, but we got a good amount of assembly done. I got a lot of 3D sculpting done today. We're gonna have a chance to take a look at that on Tuesday. Speaking of Tuesday, we will be back. I have up there terrain assembly because that's what I intend to be doing, is building the terrain from this Heart of Gur box. There is a lot of terrain. I think I might clip out a bunch of it before we actually start streaming so that I can just assemble. And we'll talk about the quality of it, and we'll try to do some demonstrative builds, I guess, as we do it. We'll take a look at the 3D printed bases that I have done for my Rotmire Creed, and hopefully I will have some bases together for the Horns of Hashut around the same time or a little bit after. And then Friday the 18th and Sunday the 20th, we will be back streaming and hopefully getting to work actually painting the Rotmire Creed by then. I got a lot of painting to do before Thanksgiving, so we're gonna speed through it. We're going to speed through it. And speaking of speeding through it, I am running out of time. Folks, thank you all for joining me. Thank you to everybody who posted to the Storm Report. Thank you for our amazing gift subs today. I'm running out of time, so folks, until next time, keep on painting.